The mole. The mole. Holy moly, the mole. So you should have this packet here, continue your work in class, and the mole here, we'll skip this page for now. I like to go ahead and introduce moles to grams here. Alright? Moles conversion practice, moles to grams. So a mole is just simply a number. Okay? A mole is a unit. A unit, so let's say 1 mole of any element has the mass of that element. Okay? 1 mole of, so equals the mass of element. 1 mole of the compound is equal to the mass of 1 mole of the compound is the mass of all the elements together added. So like 1 mole of H2O, for example. We've already found that, right? Hydrogen is 1, 2 hydrogen, so it's 1 plus 1. And then oxygen is 16. So then the mass of water is 18 grams per mole. We did that in the past. We did that a couple classes ago. We did the percent composition already. We did molecular formula and empirical formula already. So that's why we did in that order, so that you kind of know this already, and so it makes it kind of easier. All right. So moles to gram. You are required to use dimensional analysis on this. So remember dimensional analysis. So you always have to use a conversion factor. Okay. In the past, we might not have used that. So number 1, how many grams is in 5 moles of carbon? So we always start with what we're given. So we start with given 5 moles of that. So that's given here, 5 moles of carbon. So mole of carbon. And so we set up our little griddy, our train track, some teachers might call it. 5 moles of C. So we immediately copy the unit down here, mole of C. So what do we need to know? We need to know what we're getting to. It says how many grams of C. Moles and grams of C. You can convert from moles to gram in the same conversion factor. Okay. What do we know about carbon? 1 mole of carbon is how many grams? Look at your periodic table. Carbon is 12.011 grams. So it'd be 12.0 grams. That's it. All right. And so when we get to grams, and that is just a 1-step conversion right here. From moles to grams, simply use the conversion factor like that. Multiply the top. 5.3 times 12. 5.3 times 12 is 63.6 grams of carbon. That's it. Pretty easy. Pretty simple. Just 1 step. All right. So next one is beryllium. You can probably do that now. Silver, gold. Okay. And so look at numbers 5. 7 moles of H2O. Number 5. 7.2 moles of H2O equals how many grams of H2O? That's what this question is asking. All right. So we always start with what we're given. 7.2 mole of H2O. Immediately copy the unit down to the bottom of the next one, mole of H2O. What do you know about moles of H2O? 1 mole of H2O equals how many grams of H2O? Water. Let's add up the mass of water. We need to get the mass of this now. Water's 1 gram plus 1 gram plus oxygen. That's 16 grams. That's 18 grams. So the mass of water is 18 grams to every mole. So you multiply that. 7.2 times 18, you get the answer to number 5. Okay? So grams, moles to gram, it's just simple as that. Start with mole. Put this unit to the bottom, because in the end what happens is we cancel that out and we get to the last one. Grams of H2O. Very nice. Very nice. So complete 1 through 6 on that side. And we'll go to pause this video, complete 1 through 6. And then let me go show you how to do 7. Okay? Very similar, but kind of opposite. Alright? Kind of the opposite of that. So number 7. You have 43.8 grams of Cu. We need to equal something mole of Cu. Alright, so we start with 43.8 grams of Cu. What did we do last one? What goes on the bottom of the next one? Bring that unit, grams of Cu, down to the next one. Grams, we always go to mole of Cu. Again, this is conversion factor. Say it in the sentence. 1 mole of Cu, copper, is equal to the mass of copper, which is 63.5. 63.5 grams of copper. Okay. So in other words, when it's grams and mole, it's always 1 mole. Okay. Grams and mole is always 1 mole. So cross that out. Again, nothing goes down to the bottom here. So if you could put a 1 so that you don't put anything else, that's perfectly fine. Nothing goes on the bottom of the given. Okay. And so take that. Again, one's on top, one's on the bottom. This time you don't multiply. You're kind of multiplying on the top, which is 43.8 times 1. 3.8 times 1, which doesn't change it. Divided by 63.5. And I'll get 0.69 mole of copper. Okay, mole of Cu. 0.6. There you go. The only difference is now we start with grams, so grams, the unit goes down to the next one. Number 7. Pause this video, do number 8, 9, and 10. Do number 8, 9, and 10. And then you will do number 11. Let's do number 11 together. 50 grams of MgCl2 is equal to how many moles of MgCl2? So immediately you see a compound. Let's find the total mass of this compound. Mg is 24.3. 3 grams plus 2 chlorines. 2 chlorines, 35.5 plus 35.5. So 24.3 plus 35.5 plus 35.5. And I get 95.3 grams. Okay? So we start with 50 grams of MgCl2. What unit goes on the bottom of the next one? We want this unit, just the units, okay, not the numbers. Grams of MgCl2, grams of MgCl2. And 1 mole goes on top. MgCl2. Okay? So, 1 mole of MgCl2 is how many grams? Is that much grams. 95.3. 95.3. These units cancel out. And so just take the numbers, multiply the top, divide by the bottom. Okay, 50 divided by 95.3. And you get 0.52 mole of MgCl2. Always include the units. Always include the units. You need to know if you're talking about moles, grams, molecules, or atoms. But this video, this page is just doing grams and mole. Okay? So that's one step, moles to grams and grams to mole conversions. You should be able to do just fine. Eventually you'll get more complicated formulas than these, than NaCl, than the sulfur, and the uranium. So it gets a little more challenging, but the fundamental steps is just like that. Know what you start with. Get that unit to the bottom of the next one. If it's grams, then put moles on top. And the other one number, if it's moles to grams, start with mole. Moles goes on the bottom of the next one. Okay? There's a pattern. Learn these patterns. Get used to these patterns. Practice these patterns, and you'll do just fine. Goodbye.